the beholder how much we make. So some people might say, Brian, you're getting rich. Well, maybe I am. And some people might say, no, not really. But ultimately, April and I, when we came to take this position and to start this church, I always remembered in my head, I had a professor that was a Bible teacher, and he taught in my pastoral ministries class, he taught some of these texts, and he said, listen, when you put your resume out there and you go, you have a family to support, and you got to make sure that they have a package, health insurance, all that. You make sure that's in line to support your family, because you have to support your family. And when April and I decided to do ministry, and we prayed for this, and we decided to take this church plant, I never asked. I said yes to it, never asking how much I was going to get paid. And then the district said, well, as we're planning this church, we're going to support you for the first 3 years. We're going to give you X amount of dollars. And I said, okay, that sounds fine. And we had insurance with the district, okay? April and I and our boys, we have health insurance for 6 years. Now, you might say, oh, that's terrible. Well, we've chosen that because there's other places where we feel we need to put our money, and we've trusted God that he'll take care of us. And guess what? He has taken care of us. There's no worries. You don't have to worry. You can make choices and depend on what you want to do based on those kinds of things. And don't anybody here get upset and go, this church needs to be taking care of Pastor better. They need to get him health insurance. No, we have chosen that. We could take $1,500 a month and pay for a health insurance coverage, but we need $1,500 to do some other things. And some of that is savings, and some of that is knowing ahead of time. And April and I have gotten ourselves out of debt. We have 0 debt now. And so we are debt-free. And so we did all those things. And so we know God's always working in our life. And so that's fine. But we've never asked one time. I think I say rarely here because I don't want to make a mistake, but I don't know that I've ever asked for a raise or I've ever asked the church to pay me more. I don't think I've ever done that. And so for me personally, this is kind of where we're at. April and I said, hey, we're giving our lives for the gospel. Do we make a living? Yes. But I can guarantee you this, if the church decided, hey, we don't want to pay you anymore, if you would let me, I would still preach the gospel here. If you would let me. And I'd find another way to make money. Because that's just part of life. Your life is to preach the gospel. It's to use your gifts and your talents to do what God's called you to do. But is it right for the church to support the pastor? Paul's saying yes, and we'll get to that, okay? So the call of God on men's lives has been replaced with what I call educational career training. And so for the most part today in the United States, if someone feels like they want to become a pastor, and it's not necessarily, there used to be this idea of a call to be a pastor, preach the gospel. But now there's this idea that if someone feels like, they want to be a pastor, they can go to school, they can get an education, then they can put their resume out, and they can get a church. And they can do really good at it, they can do really years. Because there are few people today, few men, and some women out there are few men that will stand behind the pulpits like this in America and other countries that truly have the desire and the resolve to live and to preach the gospel, no matter the cost on their